Hey, this is Sebastian from the Metal Gods Meltdown, and today I am joined by
ADD, Dave Adams, guitar player.
Matilda Moon, vocalist.
Ron Bailey, drums.
It's great to be chatting to you all today. You guys are veterans in the music scene in the US of A. Can you give us a little bit of an insight about the band and what does the name mean, ADD?
We started back in '03, and we put out four records in North America. We did have a small UK label put out the Elements of Emptiness record, Femme Metal Records, back in '08, and then but unfortunately we were never able to get over there to tour since logistically. But the band ADD started off before, when we weren't really thinking about the internet, of course, in '03. As attention deficit disorder, and we realized early on that really was, if you wanted to find some medical terms, that's what you would find when you would go search the band. So we wanted something a little more meaningful than attention deficit disorder, and we came up with analog digital disorder, which is a pretty good description of our sound.
Yeah.
Cool.
A little bit old school analog with the new digital. And so we take our old influences mixed with some of the newer influences, and that's kind of what you get with the band. So that really had a lot more meaning to what we are as a band musically.
Cool. I didn't know you were actually signed to a UK label then. Did you get like a lot of promotion over here?
Yeah, it was a smaller label, but they did reach out to us and they did distribute in the UK. This is back when physical product was still a thing, right? CDs were still a thing. And I think it was '08 and to 2010, we reissued, and Femme Metal Records, they were around for a little while, and they did distribute it. So
Cool.
unfortunately, we weren't able to come over there and tour behind it, which would have been really cool.
Okay. So is that something then you'd hope for the future? I mean, you've just released a song called Blame, which got my attention. That's why I've asked O'Donnell to get this interview set up. So are there plans then to hopefully maybe get over to the UK before it all goes to shit?
That would be amazing. I think we all would love to come there. I think we've heard it a million times that we would do well in the other side of the world. And so I think the music probably lends itself to some of that over there. And we did have one opportunity some years ago that was talked about to go over and play with this unknown band here called Volbeat. And probably should have done that tour, right? But
What?
at the time, at the time, Stuck Mojo, the band Stuck Mojo.
Yeah.
And
Really?
I was friends with Rich Ward, and their manager Mark Willis actually reached out, and it was a conversation about it. But it was like, come over to Europe and get on a double-decker bus, and of course. So Volbeat, at that time, nobody knew who they were in the States, and they were like, "Oh, this band does 5,000 to 7,000 in Europe."
Yeah.
They weren't big here yet, so
They hadn't hit here yet.
so it's kind of funny looking back. We're like, "Oh, this band Volbeat," So
Yeah.
that would have been a really cool run.
That would have been amazing. I mean, like, I was looking at your tour itineraries in the past. You played with Shadows Fall, who I love. As I Lay Dying, you've played with a mixture of amazing bands, yeah? So that would have been amazing if you could have got over to the UK. So, okay, then, so talking about Blame, right? Can you tell us a little bit about that song and what it means, and will it be a full-length album or EP due this year?
We do have some songs in the can. We had taken some time off right before COVID, and we had started recording some music. And then when we resumed about 4 years ago, we came back and started finishing those. Blame was one of those songs that had been around for some time in its certain form, and then we kind of rewrote some of it and rehashed it a little bit and finally finished that. And we had some other songs as well that were started then, as well as some new things that we're working on as well. So the goal is to put another full-length release out, hopefully by the end of this year.
So can you tell us about any tours that you've got lined up for the year? And do you plan to do any live feeds of your performances?
We're a Midwestern band, so I mean in the North America. So I mean that's really our home base. So touring 4 to 6 hours in the region is really where we've made our fan base over the years. So those dates, this summer, that's really what we're concentrating on for right now. I mean, cost of touring and these days, and fuel and those things. So it makes it really hard logistically. And so I think, at least minimally we'll start in the Midwest. And then, we always look for those opportunities to go in other areas. Over the years, we've toured on the East Coast, we've toured on the West a little bit. But it's always hard to get back there. That's always seems to be the problem when you're 20 hours away from a market. It's really hard to route those tours, so I think those are always the challenges we face when you're a smaller band with a limitation on some of the budgetary constraints.
Okay, so you're in Chicago, so I'm guessing like probably the length of England to get to Canada. Do you play in Canada at all? Do you spread your wings up there? No?
We haven't. We have not played that market. We played Northern Michigan. I mean, that's
It's about
Minneapolis, which those are all in the northern regions.
Yeah.
We played Montana, which also is way out there with American band Dope. You probably know who Dope is. We played with them quite a bit over the years. We did some runs with them up there, so never got across to Canada.
Okay. So you got a Cat House shirt on. Have you played the Cat House in the past?
The Cat House?
Yeah.
I wish I missed it in LA, but we've been out there. I've been to the Whiskey, been to all those clubs out there, Troubadour, and unfortunately, I missed that window of the heyday of the Cat House and those bands. We played a lot of those bands in the Midwest, all the Quiet Riot and some of those bands we've gotten to play with.
Amazing stuff.
I mean, for me, it's Kiss Alive too. That's really why I started playing music. So for me, it's Kiss. I think that's pretty easy. After that one, it gets a little tougher. But I would say Kiss for sure. And maybe Pantera, Vulgar Display of Power. Maybe those are, if I just off the top of my head, there's a million, but.
Yeah, I know. Great choice.
Well,
Trying to blank. You go.
Just pick two.
I'm
made you play music.
I'm all over the place, diversity as far as music goes. I mean, I grew up actually listening to a lot of country and Western. My mom and dad both were country Western fans. I got into the whole rock thing more or less on my own. I would have to look at it from, like, I guess, a historical perspective from my point of view. I would probably put Rush, A Farewell to Kings, as one of them. That was the first introduction to like the more prog or that type of music from my uncle, and it's still to this day it sticks with me. And then, so many.
Got it.
I would actually have to. I'm going to go with Spring Session M by Missing Persons.
Cool.
I was really heavily influenced by Terry Bozzio from the Zappa days, and then even into the Missing Persons thing, and that's kind of left a mark on me, if you will. So I'd probably go that.
Excellent answers. Okay.
I would go with Doro Pesh.
Cool.
Warlock or Doro?
Warlock, actually.
Yeah.
When he graduated. And then
Alright.
Skunk and Nancy.
Skunky Nancy.
Better Alive.
Ace Frehley.
Doro Pesh. Skin.
And if I got a
Can't
drum,
make up my mind.
Tommy Aldridge on drums, if I had to pick.
Any musician, like, it could be guitar, bass, whatever, right? I mean, not obviously someone in the same.
Come on, man.
Never really talk about it.
Just pick one.
Um,
Jeez.
I'd love to sit down with like either someone to like either Terry Bozzio or if you could bring him back from life, Neil Peart. Just such amazing influences on me, and I mean, I know I'll probably never in my lifetime be able to touch their ability, but at least to be able to have some sort of classroom type thing or something with them, that would be just totally awesome.
Amazing. All right. So if you're going out on tour tomorrow with ADD, you had 2 countries to go to. Sorry, there's 3 countries, right? Just 3 of you. 1 country each. Which country each would you love to go on tour tomorrow?
I mean, UK. I mean,
I would say UK, absolutely. Absolutely.
I mean, we've heard all the stories about Donington and O2 and those great festivals there, Germany and Wacken.
Wacken.
Yeah.
Yeah, whacking.
That
can
was
s-
cool.
So those
Amazing.
are two on our list for sure.
Okay. Which essential would you take with you on this tour then? One essential each.
What essential?
Outside of musical gear,
Yeah, of course. Like, I don't know, earplugs.
I think deodorant, right? I got to smell.
Toothbrush.
You got to have the deodorant or toothbrush, right? I mean,
Yeah, that's
Especially for you.
because I'm working hard.
that's right.
Yeah, okay.
All right,
So earplugs would definitely be one. Yes.
cool. If there was a song about your personality, like a totally made up song, a new song, what would it be called?
Oh boy, man, these are good ones.
Yeah.
Stumpers.
I mean,
Personality.
Not easy. Question.
Molly Crew.
Yeah.
It's better than Christmas.
Yeah, Molly Crew. That's cool. That's cool. All right. So, do you guys prefer a festival or a small, intimate gig?
Festival?
Mm-hmm.
For a
Like-
small, intimate gig.
Yeah, I like smaller places. You know, you definitely more connection with the fans when you're playing a small club.
Yeah, it's a little more face to face that way with those smaller, big.
Awesome.
Less overwhelming.
All right. What was the last song you listened to today?
Oh, Deftones, Seven Dust, Bender.
Yeah, I would say that was last night actually, but I went and saw it was Slayer. I went and saw a tribute band, was a Slayer tribute band last night. So it was
Any
Angel
good?
of Death by Slayer.
All right. Were they any good? Tribute
They
Slayer
were
band.
good.
Yeah.
They were very good.
All right. Okay. Cool. If there was a metal song you could do a cover of, which one would you choose?
Oh man. It's tough. Painkiller, is that the one we talk about all the time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Priest Painkiller.
Judas Priest, yeah. Have you practiced that? Have you tried doing that before?
We've talked about it. I think, that's definitely, you're putting the bar pretty high there.
Yeah.
Cover
Yeah.
that song. You better.
Especially on the drums. That's
Dude, you've done that.
Do you know, right? I mean, fucking hell, I've done this a long time. I didn't know Tori Amos did a cover version of Slayer. Did you know that? Rain in Blood. Did you know
not
that?
Slayer. I wasn't aware of that.
I didn't know that, man.
Yeah,
A musician told me the other day, and I'm like, you kidding? Check it out. It's like,
It's pretty cool.
I gotta check that
check it out. Honestly, I was amazed. I didn't know about that.
I
Right.
listen to a lot of Tori Amos. I don't.
No, I've never heard that.
Yeah. So it's on YouTube. I was really shocked. I was like, what?
Very cool.
Yeah, it is. All right. So, if you were each a musical instrument, what would you be and why?
I didn't hear.
If we were
For
to,
a musical instrument,
Yeah, like, but if you were a musical instrument, what would you be and why?
A guitar, of course. Because then you're always going to be heard whether they want to hear you or not.
That's a good answer.
well, I could say the same for drums though too.
You just get beaten all the time.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd want to be a trumpet. Nobody wants to hear a trumpet.
but
There's an answer to that.
you get blown up.
I was thinking that, but I was refraining.
There's a
Come
joke there
on.
somewhere.
It was a horrible joke.
You mentioned Motley Crue. As soon as you mentioned Motley Crue, it's like comes into your head, right? Okay. A little bit of idea then about a song that you have released recently, Flame, and what's its meaning? I mean, the video is quite sort of like tells the story, I'm guessing, but what's it mean to you, and what was the inspirations behind that song?
The meaning of that song? Dealing with a liar.
Mm-hmm.
Someone who lies to you all the time and just tries to destroy you, I suppose.
Narcissist, basically. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
We have uplifting songs like that.
yeah.
You know, if you want to just jump off the bridge, just listen to it first. Then
Fair enough.
You told me to write something, that's what I wrote. I can't help it.
well, we always say it's much easier to write a song about being angry or sad than it is about being happy, right?
Of course it is, yeah.
In our world,
And yeah, well,
Of course it is, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Honestly.
at least in metal, right? And hard rock and metal.
Yeah, totally, man. Well, that's the
I think if
thing
we wrote a
about rock.
happy song, people would be a little wondering what's going on.
like,
I mean, yeah, it's like I can imagine a life without metal or rock music in my life. I couldn't imagine listening to some of the shit that's out there, even back in the 80s. You know what I mean? I can't imagine that. There's
right?
like no soul to it. You know, I mean, Drown maybe, but that was about it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see us writing Cherry Pie anytime soon. Yeah.
Hey, listen, there's nothing wrong with Warrant's Cherry Pie, man. I love that song. A good song.
Enjoy the song. I just don't see us doing it.
No, fair enough. Do you remember when Warrant tried to go grungy and it just didn't work out? That was awful.
I like those records actually.
Did you?
Dog Eat Dog. That was a
Dog
good
Eat
record.
Dog, yeah, that was it, yeah. Fuck me.
It was a pretty good record. Jane Lane was a talented dude for sure.
Absolutely, totally was. Did you ever actually meet Janie Lane, do a tour with him or anything? Well, what a
Never
shame.
did. You know, of all that we've played with some of those bands from that era. You know, Brett Michaels and a few, but never had the chance to. I actually met Eric Turner and a couple of those guys. They put a wine out, and we were out in Nam, and a friend of ours, Stephen from Warnstar, had to go meet them up with the. They put their own wine out, so we got to actually go taste their wine. To Warren,
Cool.
whatever it was called. I think it might have been called I Saw Red or something wine or something.
Right, that's cool. Oh, I didn't know
I
that.
actually did meet him kind of informally, you know, and
Yeah.
drink
That's so
some of the
cool.
wine.
That's so cool. So that leads me to the next question then. Obviously, you've toured with some big, amazing bands like 80s icons as well. I mean, would you ever think about doing like a book or something about your experiences?
I mean, we've had some pretty cool shows. We've been pretty fortunate. Played with a lot of big bands, over, not even big, but cool bands over the years. I wouldn't even say big, but
Okay.
Look,
I don't know if we have enough excitement in our book if it would sell.
Yeah.
we don't remember a lot of the excitement. I don't.
I don't know that we could. I don't know that we could print everything in the book because not because necessarily how bad it was, but I think some of the artists that we probably they weren't too thrilled with us after we played with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we played with Korn and got kicked off the fairgrounds after the show because we just got too crazy, and they were all, they're just straight and narrow these days. This was
Then
2010, I think, but I come back and we were kicked off the grounds, so
We had to-
we can't tell the rest of the story, but there's another part that's pretty interesting that our guitar
it wasn't
player,
me.
Jeremy, he's not here to defend himself, so we won't tell that story, but it's
Was I
quite entertaining.
Love it.
think it was Road Dogg
Yeah.
during that one.
All right. So when hopefully we will get an album this year or an EP, that'll be amazing. And hopefully you can get over to the UK before it does explode, which is possible. I'd like to congratulate you on the single. Do you have any final words for your fans, our viewers and listeners?
I mean, we just want to get out there and keep playing music. I mean, we've taken some time off, so we'd like to get more music out there to everyone, so we're trying hard. Our new label, TLG Rock, through Virgin, has done a good job of putting the song out there. And these days, there's so much music out there. I think that's the challenge, to get it out there and really find it, right? And so we're working hard to make the music more accessible for everyone to find. I think, even though we've been around for quite some time, getting the proper people behind it and the right proper presentation, I think that's the goal. And so we're working hard. I think the team of people we're working with now really do a good job of that. So we're really excited about getting some more music out. I don't think we need to put more out. We got a little bit more to say, I think, before we're done. So.